Hello, Game Day Coaching members. This is Rick Storley from New Home Sales Coach, and today we're going to start working on objections. And these are the 6 most common objections that we identified when dealing with today's price focus, what we call outlet mall buyers. I'm going to give you a little strategy right now to how to deal with objections, and then we're going to get into the actual scripts for these at a later date. So let's look at what is all part of the objection sales process. Number one, we have to weed out conditions. Okay, conditions are anything that you cannot overcome, and they're typically finance-based. So examples of conditions are no money and no credit. If you find a condition, you just move on. Now, as we start to deal with objections, there's just 2 types. Very simply, it's minor and major objections. Okay, a minor objection is really the guest telling you they would like you to slow your presentation down. It's just a defense mechanism. Then we have major objections. These are the final request for reassurance. In other words, the final confidence builder to convince your prospect that yes, it is right to move forward. Some thoughts to keep in mind when you hear an objection. Remember, it's nothing more than a request for information, so don't oversell. When the guest objects, you simply answer the question and then ask for the order. You keep asking until you've answered all their objections. It's going to help rationalize their decision, and never take the objection at face value. I think we always know there's a deeper meaning to it. Be prepared for the 3 to 6 most common objections. That's why we're going to give you 7 scripts for the most common objections with today's outlet mall type buyers. This is a little process I put together when it comes to dealing with objections. It's called the OAC process. Now the acronym stands for Objection, Answer, Close. And just remember, when the guest objects, it means your opportunity. So you take that opportunity to hear out the objection, give it your pre-planned answer, and then close for the next step. These are my favorite objection strategies, the one that I've highlighted here. Make sure you get comfortable with about 4 or 5 of these strategies. I believe there's 10 here for you. Minor objections. This is usually early on in the sales presentation. So you get an objection, you just politely ask to make a note of it and come back to it later. Do not deal with the objection at that point. It's simply just a smokescreen. Slow down your presentation a little bit. If they bring it up again, you go back to it. All right, number 4 here, which one I really like. Attempt to lead the guest to answer their own objections through questioning. That's the strategy that I use the most, and you'll see that in the scripts. Reviewing their history. You talk about a previous major decision that they made and how it really changed their lifestyle for the better. It's a great strategy to use for market objections. Changing the base of the objection is simply like a summary close. So the example would be tell me, Mr. Guest, what's more important in your decision to move forward? The swimming pools and trail system you and your family love so much, or the size of the home site? So you change the base of the objection to saying, well, it's really not that big of a deal in the overall scheme of things. When you hear an objection that happens over and over again, probably the most effective strategy is to brag about it. And that is, if you know it's going to come up, so figure out what the positives are about that objection and bring it up before your guest brings up the negative part of it. So you brag about it. These are important objection phrases that you will use to begin your pre-planned response. Now, if you've had any personality training, you'll notice here that we have driver, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. If you understand those types of personalities, these are phrases that worked well with them. The universal ones that I like to use are, let me present the information to you and you can be the judge to see if it makes sense. That's a great one. I also like a couple of ones for the conscientiousness. Can I share a thought with you you may find valuable? And also the influence. I'm curious. I would say you have a good reason for feeling that way. Would you mind sharing it with me? And then let them expand. Thanks very much. Happy selling.